Hello guys and welcome. If you are new, please subscribe and also click the notification bell so that you don't miss out on such great content. It's been a while since I did a video concerning Windows 11 and a lot has changed and I think it's a good time that I create an updated video concerning Windows 11 as it is currently in 2025. Now, why I still prefer Windows 11 specifically, over Linux distributions. Now, I understand Linux is open source. It is great for some things. It works for so many people, but there are still features and there are still areas where it has a lot to catch up. It has a long way to catch up with Windows 11. Now, I'm going to touch about these areas, and these areas are very crucial for your average user like me and you, and they are really very important. And in fact, recently I installed Fedora, which is the latest version of Fedora, Fedora 42, and I tried to record a video. Number one, and let's speak about it. Windows 11 has a better hardware compatibility. Look at Face and Lock, for example. All you need to do is just to install. The moment you install your operating system, that is Windows 11, you will find that it is pre-installed. When you go to sign in options, it is pre-installed, uh, fingerprint, facial, and for my laptop I use facial recognition. I don't have fingerprint recognition or fingerprint ID, fingerprint login. So that comes in handy for me. It's a very convenient way of logging in, and with the Windows Hello is more secure than the offerings that are on Linux. I understand that there are offerings on Linux like Audi, which is great, but it has a long way to catch up with Windows Hello. And again, in fact, I tried to install the latest Audi, in fact, a better version for Audi on Linux Fedora, and it didn't work. So nothing worked because of dependencies, and I couldn't get it to install Face Unlock. While in Windows, it works out of the box. Nothing, no installation of anything, just configuring, adding your face, and that is it. And also, I recorded a video. I recorded a video on Fedora, and the microphone is really bad. There's no noise cancellation. I understand that could not be the limitations of Linux, but rather the drivers and the softwares that are available may not be available on Linux. And but on Windows, there is noise cancellation by default, and it works very well. The microphone is clear, so even if you're in a noisy environment, you'll find that the sound that your microphone will record will be clear. Those are small features which are very useful. And another thing is that in the norm screen recorder or screen recorder, the default one does not have sound in it, does not have microphone. Now I understand that on Windows also you have a print screen, which is a snipping tool, and it can record video and can also take a screenshot. It is not perfect, but it is way better than what Linux is giving out there, because Linux by default is unable to record sound. It's unable to take microphone input. It can just record the screen. And that's a very useful feature that I use and for doing tutorials and many other things that can be very useful. And snipping tool is a Windows feature that ships with Windows 11. Again, you don't need to install anything. I understand that OBS Studio is an option and it's available both for Linux and Windows. But what if you don't want to use third-party software? What if snipping tool is sufficient for you, like it is for me? Why would I need to install a third party software? Moving on, extra features. Now, when we talk about extra features, for a long time now, Windows has been offering speech to text, and you can navigate to speech to text by simply pressing uh, command, no, Windows key, or what we call super key on Windows, and H. So voice typing turns your voice into text, and it uses Microsoft's online speech services. And now, so this service is available on, it is now rolling out on Linux, but it has been around on Windows, and it is more refined, and it works just fine. So I'm using the microphone right now, so it's not available. So moving on, and another feature that I forgot to tell you guys is about Copilot. Copilot is a very useful feature. I use it every day. And the beauty of it is that when you have a conversation, in case you encounter a problem, because it understands the context, it will be able to tell you what you need to amend in your solution or something like that. And in fact, it is helping developers so much. If you go to Visual Studio Code, it is Copilot that is helping developers to code. It is completing code, making suggestions, and I've used it and it is very handy. It's very useful. It is very useful also for an everyday user. For example, if you want to check the hash file, the checksum, if you want to check the files hash on Windows 11, what do you do? Which commands do you use? And you just go to your Copilot. You don't need to go to the browser and start searching all the web when you can simply open a Copilot, start a chat, and ask any question that you have. And if you encounter a problem, you can report back. That's not possible on the web because you cannot have a conversation on the web. And that is very useful. Still, you can, I know there are options also on Linux, but it cannot beat the support or the, the AI Copilot that is on Windows. It is simply first class, the best out there. And another feature also that is very handy that has not yet come to Windows, that has not come to Linux, is passkeys. I know you can enable that in your browsers, but remember, passkeys in Windows uses TPM chip, and it is more secure. It is actually it can only be compared to the version that Mac OS or rather Mac has implemented, and it is a good way of storing your passwords, and it is better than just using the browser instead of a TPM chip. So again, Windows shines here, and there is no clear alternative for Linux here, and probably the implementation will come soon, but for now, we don't have that implementation. Now, moving on is gaming. Now, Windows 11, everyone knows, is optimized for gaming until now, and it is not Linux's fault. But again, if you are a gamer, it doesn't matter really whose fault it is. You just want something that works, something that will run your games, and that is Windows. Now, many apps or many games are built to run on Windows, and that is an advantage that Windows has over any other OS, in fact, over even Mac OS. And it supports many more games, and it supports gaming features such as direct storage, auto HDR, and it has also exclusive support for many game titles. Now, Linux as a not all Linux, but some Linux distributions have a have a poor window management. But when it comes to, and again, I understand that because Linux is not really designed for a graphic interface user necessarily. Yes, there are many people who love a graphic user interface, but many people who use Linux are comfortable using the terminal. And in any case, if you are a Linux user, you must get used to using the terminal. But again, if in a Linux distribution, I will refer to Fedora most of the time because that is a distribution that I've tested. I've also tested Ubuntu, but Fedora more than any other distribution. Fedora, which uses GNOME, and so the windowing system, or rather, the windowing system and tiling system is not really as good as Windows One. It is hard, it is difficult to maximize and resize Windows, but in Fedora or in some Linux distributions. But on Windows 11, it is something that is very easy. Tiling is very easy. Everything is very easy, and it comes just out of the box. But if you want to get the same results on Linux or Fedora, you need to install some other additional software, which again may not be really be the best. Now, moving on is that device is that Windows 11, if you are a Microsoft, if you use Microsoft products and like OneDrive, Azure, again, Windows will work best for you because it is, if you are using the ecosystem, obviously compatibility and integration will be a bit easier. And again, when it comes to touchscreen and pen support, Windows is just top notch. It is designed to support touchscreen. In fact, most of Windows laptops come with touchscreens. And in fact, like this one here, like this laptop is a touchscreen and it works very well. I understand that also many Linux distributions support touchscreen, but Windows is just the best when it comes to touchscreens and pen support. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. If you are new, please subscribe and also click the notification bell so that you don't miss out when I come again with another video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.